Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, your number one stop for all things in the world of golf. Watch and subscribe anywhere you get your favorite shows on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Google, and more. Just search Get in the Hole. Get in the Hole is the official golf pod of the Underground Sports Philadelphia family of podcasts. Now let's get right into the action. Here's your hosts, Steve McAvoy and Ben Pirro.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Put myself to root for the Eagles solely on the premise of, first of all, I'm a Giants fan. But
if Micah Parsons can do it, you can do it.
No, wait. Hear me out. As a Giants fan, right? I went into this playoff and I said, all right, I want the Bengals to win it all because I think Joe Burrow and Pat Mahomes is the new Peyton versus Brady, right? So that off the bat, I was like, this is going to be like the thing. But then I was like, all right, who in the NFC do I want to win? Do I want to see Brock Purdy play well? Yeah. But once he tore his UCL, I was like, all right, this is done. A small thread of me, though, early on was like, I'd rather, as a Giants fan, watch the Cowboys win than the Eagles because at least the Cowboys had to take out a few really good teams to get there.
Hey, you guys did your job.
The lowly Giants after a bye week.
Yeah, because you guys did your job and won.
And then played fucking Josh Johnson, the world's longest LinkedIn page.
One, shout out to you guys for winning. You beat the biggest fraudulent team of all time, the -10 score differential Minnesota Vikings.
I literally knew. I could have told you the second that the match was going to be played that if you could shut down Justin Jefferson, the game's won.
Yeah,
that was it. I put $30 down on the Giants to win on the money line, and it was the best plus money odds I've ever gotten in my life.
And then the 49ers were just a Cinderella waiting to turn back into a pumpkin.
I don't think they were as much of a Cinderella as you can say, though, because Brock Purdy for 8 weeks.
I should say
he was the guy.
The media darling that they were. It's like, oh, they've won 12 straight games. Look at who they played, though. Like, everyone wants to talk about the Eagles' schedule being soft throughout the entire season. Please go back and look, everybody at home, at who the 49ers played this year. Like, of course Brock Purdy beat them.
But hold on. Mr. Irrelevant Brock Purdy, I think that alone goes, all right, no one expected anything out of this guy. Iowa State quarterback, played in the soft half of the Big Ten. Like, not
Big
nothing
12.
Really.
Big 12. Played against Jalen Hurts.
Oh, shit, yeah, Big 12. You're right.
He went into a shootout in college with Jalen Hurts.
Even then, though, the Big 12 in his division was soft.
But here's where the Eagles won. The Eagles won both of their matchups in the trenches. And that's where the NFL is won right now.
Yeah, the running game, like they had, 200 plus yards between all three running backs?
We had 148, I think, was the final after, kneel downs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay. But, 212 it was 212 all-purpose yards from their running backs.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible game
and
plan.
And Jalen Hurts ran.
Yeah.
And the Eagles' defensive line is, depth-wise and just rotational-wise, was easily the best in the entire playoff bracket.
Yeah. And honestly, and there isn't enough good things that you can honestly say about the O-line, too. They're filthy.
Yeah, they're one of the best to ever play together.
Can someone explain to me why we just can't figure out a way to stop the QB sneak on 4th and 1?
92% of the time it works every time.
It's literally insane. Why don't you just put 11 guys over the tackle? And then, I get they can, audible out and run a pitch or whatever, but you can move with them and make decisions. It's insane that
it's so fascinating.
It's basically just a first down. I don't understand why.
How low, when they show the replay and show how low the Eagles offensive line gets to dig block, it's so fascinating that those massive mountains of human get that low to the ground.
Yeah, they basically just fall.
Well, hold on. Well, something very important here, and I'm gonna call out my girlfriend who's in the other room, babe. Okay. She doesn't want to answer me. There's some law of science. I want to say it's inertia, right? They're fucking 300-pound, 6'6" guys that when they fall to the ground, gravity's gonna bring them down pretty quick. So no matter what, they're going down. They're going down hard.
Plus, Jalen Hurts squats 600 pounds.
Yeah,
that too. That helps when your quarterback has the the muscle capacity of I believe
Ass of a titan.
Yeah.
Oh, quick. Can we talk about your tight end? What's his last name? Dallas Goddard? How do you say it?
Goddard.
When he was dancing at the end of the game, he looked like that kid from Vine, the crack kid. What does that crack kid say? We gotta pull up. We gotta clip it and pull up just Dallas dancing. Like his face looked like the crack kid grown up. It was insane.
That was the ultimate troll job by the Eagles social team too, because they posted that video on Twitter and Instagram and said, all caps, Dallas is going to the Super Bowl.
I didn't see that. That's funny.
It was so funny. No, I have to give a lot of credit to a lot of these social media teams. Who was it yesterday? I think it was the Chiefs, but I forget what exactly it was. Oh no, they clipped the part of Travis Kelce's not post-game interview because he kind of just like video bomb Mahomes.
Yeah,
and he goes, "Burrow head my ass," and then they put that with with a giant troll job of the mayor of Cincinnati, and I'm like, who's allowing this stuff to go down? It's amazing. And then the other day, today, I saw a video, no free ads, but like Manscaped saw an ad today about some guy getting a fade by his balls.
Yeah, that video is hilarious.
Who gave clearance for that video to go out?
Manscaped, shout out to them. We've done work with Manscaped in the past.
My goodness.
Their social media team is fantastic.
Their John Daly commercial is incredible. It is incredible.
Their ball deodorant is also like A1. I use that shit every day now. But yeah.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. Oh my goodness. Well, here we are, folks. Here we are. Welcome in to the Getting the Whole podcast. Steve McAvoy, Jake Dippold. We had KB on in the first half to talk a little bit of Birds action, but enough about Philadelphia sports. I want to puke after a good day for my wallet, but a bad day for my man Joe Shiesty, Joe Burrow. No cigars for him. I think it might have been the first time ever I've heard Pat Mahomes openly dig somebody. He mentioned the cigars in the locker room. Seems like a really nice guy, but first time I've ever heard him actually dig into someone.
And it's crazy too. It's crazy too because Burrow really doesn't talk jack. Everyone else around him is talking, and he's taking the brunt of it because they use his name. But I've never heard Joe Burrow talk negatively about anyone, and he's kind of getting dragged in the mud because his team is just insane.
And not for nothing, the people can argue all they want about what happened last night, but the idea that the refs screwed them, I wouldn't say that. The offensive line was absolute trash for about 3 quarters. Joe Burrow looked lost. Nothing was working whatsoever. Although I'm so mad. Placed a 3-leg parlay. Thankfully, FanDuel, my sportsbook of choice, no free ads. We'll bleep that out. No 3-leg parlay, $10 insurance. Your bet loses, you get your money back. 3-leg parlay on the over, on Kadarius Toney anytime touchdown, and T. Higgins first touchdown for the Bengals. Guess which part of that one didn't hit?
The over? I can't remember who scored the first touchdown.
The Toney touchdown didn't hit because of the freaking booth review that called it incomplete.
I remember.
T. Higgins, while I'm taking a shit, I hear in the living room, T. Higgins touchdown. I go, oh my god, no freaking way! And I'm like, this is gonna happen. And then I'm like, oh wait a minute, I'm checking Twitter for about 3 hours, and I'm like, they haven't ruled Toney out until about 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It was Kadarius Toney downgraded to out. I said, fuck.
Yeah.
Had I won that, it was $10 won $430.
Dang, that's wild. That's value. That's value right there.
That's huge value, but unfortunately did not get my my play. All right, a lot of news in the golf world this past week. Of course, Max Homa takes home the win at the Farmers Insurance Open. His 4th win in California, which is nuts when you think about
it. The West Coast kid.
He has 6 career victories, and 4 of them come in California. Actually, all 6 of his career victories on the PGA Tour come in only 2 states, considering 4 are in California, 2 are at the Wells Fargo in North Carolina. So, at this point, I'm pretty sure he's got a summer home in North Carolina too. So, kind of sus here. I don't know. But certainly going to talk a little more about Max Homa on the other side. Also have a lot more live news. We're going to get right around to that. But first, I want to start the show off. You sent me a TikTok the other day. I thought we should kind of dig into this and do this more often on the show. In the past, we already had the fantasy draft. We've had a few other draft style things, but I want to get into this, the top 5 things about golf. Do a little draft style. Was thinking about it. Like, we need to do more of these. One of my favorite podcasts. KB will know it immediately. My boy Nick Costos. They always do like top whatever. I think the other day they did like top Italian foods. And why is veal parmesan number 1? I don't really know, but it is. But top 5 things of golf. I want to hear. We'll go back and forth. I'll be nice because I'm 2-0 in fantasy golf, and I'll give you the first pick here in the non-existent top 5 things draft. But top 5 things about golf. What do you got?
So my number 1 thing is just the absolute best thing in the entire world, Steve. And that is when you hit a drive OB and it bounces off a tree and comes back clean in the fairway.
Honestly,
easy money, number 1 thing in the world.
Basically, story of my life. I mean, really simple, but you see the TikToks all the time of like, there's one thing guys really want, and it's like the girl walking in like high heels and you hear the noise. But the ball hitting the cup, the little rattle is just like something that like you can never. I'm a firm pull the pin guy because if the pin's in, you don't hear it as well.
Yeah.
Also, the sound of during COVID hitting your putts, but the ball would hit the flag stick first. I hated that noise. I was like, God damn it! I got to pull a pin out. So it's definitely that noise is number 1 for me.
Number 2 for me, it's simple one, chipping in. Nothing better than chipping in from the green side. Just the best feeling ever. Don't even got to touch the putter. Chip that thing in. Same noise, same everything. Just the best thing in the world.
I'm really shitty because I putt off the fringe. I don't do chips because nine times out of 10 they skull. Number 2, honestly, a clean bunker shot. Nothing better because I'm so bad
smack. Just that smack.
I'm so bad out of the bunker, but like that like nice just shoot out when you're watching your friend like from on the green and you see just the splash of sand with that white ball floating over. No better feeling.
Number 3 for me, easy one, golf course hot dogs. Just amazing. Best hot dog you can get in the entire world. Not even close.
Golf course hot dogs are good. Bethpage Black has the best ones though, but actually even better than that though. Hold on, listen to this. The waffles at Bethpage Black.
Really? On course waffles?
Yeah, it isn't. Well, no, it's at the. So obviously the 9th hole, all the courses converge like towards the clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
But there's the halfway house, quote unquote, like shack on the yellow and blue that I'll always go to, and I'll pull up, and it isn't like the waffles they make like right there, but it's like they come in these packages. You can get them at like Costco. If you ever see them there, but they're so freaking good. And then occasionally they'll have like a bacon, egg, and cheese or something that you can get if it's like early in the morning. You squish them together. Oh, it's the best.
Is that your number 3?
Yeah.
My number 4 is fresh new wedges. Best thing ever. Just incredible. Peeling off, seeing those grooves, just taking that off right here, peel it off. It's just a special feeling, Steve. It's a really special feeling.
Number 4, I'm sticking with the food. Halfway house transfusions. Especially when you can very easily screw those things up. When it's made well, it's made well.
And to round us out here, it's an easy one. Been saving it. It's probably not number 5, but I was saving it for a little bit. It's a tailwind on a drivable par 4. Just incredible. The best thing ever.
Oh my God. What a sweet way to cap that one off.
Just beautiful.
Oh my God. I got to think about this one then, because I'm honestly thinking about it now that's really up there. All right. You know what? Just gonna keep it really simple. A pipe drive straight down the middle. You can just kind of watch it go. You kind of big dick it too when you hit it, and like you're holding it. You're like, wow, that thing's so nice. The little club twirl, like your tiger. Oh my God, no better feeling. Even though it happens like once every like 8 rounds for me, but oh my goodness. So there, little fun draft action to get it rolling. But the lead story this week has to be Rory McIlroy. And not just what Rory McIlroy did in winning the Hero Challenge in Dubai, but it was between Patrick Reed, with Sergio Garcia, with every live golfer on the planet chasing his tail, with him winning the freaking event and saying, my game isn't there yet. A ridiculous week from Rory McIlroy. And with that being said, we got to start off with TeeGate. I mean, this is the biggest thing since Tom Brady's deflated balls. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're on. I think you're spot on. The way you said deflated balls was a little bit funny to me.
I mean, honestly, they could very well be quite deflated after Giselle left, but
yeah, I mean, TeeGate is just wow, man. Patrick Reed is, I mean, like he's just a piece of work, and that's the most simple way to say it. For him to think he can walk into that range and go just say hey to Rory after subpoenaing him on Christmas Eve, like he must be living in like an insane asylum world for him to think that's okay. And then for him to like be butthurt that he wouldn't do it. I wrote a blog about it and compared it to like a pitcher. Let's say Jacob deGrom throws it in Mike Trout's head 4 times in a row, finally hits him on the 4th time, and then he goes the next day, shakes his hand and says, hey man, and just acts like nothing happened. And then Trout doesn't shake his hand and deGrom goes to the media and cries about it. I think it's the same exact literal thing as throwing at a guy in the head. I think subpoena him with his family is probably even worse than doing something within your sport.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, TeeGate is just outrageous, and Patrick Reed continues to surprise me every single day. And I'm just looking forward to what happens next. Honestly, it's a soap opera.
Yeah, I want to read the quote here from Rory. Called it a storm in a teacup, which is also the most like British comment you can make. So of course, if you didn't watch it at all or see it unfold, allegedly, Patrick Reed said hello to Rory. Rory didn't have anything of it. After his range session, I believe, Reed threw a tee at him, and it all blew up. He said, I didn't see it. I was down by my bag, and he comes up to me. I was busy working and sort of doing my practice. I didn't feel the need to acknowledge him, so I didn't, and a tee coming in my direction at all. But apparently that's what happened. If roles were reversed and I'd have thrown the tee at him, I'd be expecting a lawsuit. But it's definitely a storm in a teacup. Obviously nothing. I can't believe it's actually turned into a story. Yeah, it's nothing. Why should Rory have to even acknowledge this guy? This absolute POS. Like it's. I think it's funny, and you're right that Patrick Reed goes out of his way to try and like be buddy. Meanwhile, you defected from the tour. You're the guy who no one likes. Like if there's a way to become an even worse enemy than you already were, like I'm like, are you a Marvel fan by chance?
A little bit.
All right, like I'm trying to find like the Marvel equivalency here of like if you like Thanos, right? Obviously, huge villain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, could Thanos have gotten any worse? I don't really know, but like you're already hated by everybody. No one in America likes you. You go to live, and now no one in the world likes you because now all of a sudden, like even the Saudis like joke about Patrick Reed. It's hilarious in their press conferences. They're like, "Yeah, this guy Patrick Reed." Like it's a freaking joke. And then of course, like the whole T thing, whether or not it happened, like whatever, who cares? I just appreciate that Rory's being the bigger person about it. Now, another thing though that struck me that was really interesting was that during his presser on Tuesday, of course, you're in Dubai, so naturally, LIVGolf, the Saudis all sort of maneuver there and meander their way within the tournament, and then also this week at the Saudi International Tournament. I don't know if Rory's playing this week. He might be since he's already there, but reporters were asking him all about like LIV and all those questions. And one thing that came up with Sergio Garcia, and he said that there's no way to fix their relationship. Now, obviously, Rory and Sergio in the past, Ryder Cup teammates, Ryder Cup co-captains, alongside of the overall chair that year. Obviously, two of the most historically great Ryder Cup players ever. I think Sergio has the most matches won, like 24 matches won in his career, and obviously then defected to LIV and is now thrown off the pedestal of Ryder Cup champion. I find it fascinating that Rory is like, yeah, I'm like, it's one thing to be like, like I know that like JT said it right when it came to like Dustin Johnson. He was like, yeah, just because they went to a different tour, like I'm still gonna like be friends with them. Like they're still like my guys. Like Rory McIlroy has kind of been like the one guy to be like, I fucking hate all of you, and I'll show you that I hate you. Very much like Tiger Woods S2. It's like Michael Jordan. Whenever like someone like talks shit to him, he's like, oh, and I'm gonna take it personally. It's one of those things. But I'm just really shocked that like Rory's really kind of taken up this like I'm going to annihilate every single one of you every opportunity I can, including of course Greg Norman, who was not even in his like age range when Greg was playing, but just fascinating stuff in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was a little odd for Rory to say that, honestly. I think he kind of jumped the gun a little bit. There's got to be something that we don't know about that's been happening kind of under the table between them. There has to be some type of thing to where Rory's talked to him and Sergio's said something that's really sparked it with Rory. The only other thing I think of is just the difference between Americans and Europeans when it comes to golf. Like I think there's a little bit more of a seriousness to the European side of things. Like,
Yeah.
well, we see it in the Ryder Cup a lot when it's hosted in Europe. Like it's just not the same kind of atmosphere you get with these Americans that are yelling, throwing beer, doing things, all this stuff. It's just a little bit different to where there's almost even a greater respect for the game. And not that the Americans don't do that, but like Rory respects the game so much and respects the tour so much that anyone that gets in the way, he's just really going to have a big problem with.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think like I guess it's because golf was founded in Europe and in the UK that like it just makes sense that they're more gentlemanly about it. I've also said this multiple times, and I'll kind of I'll beat the horse as much as I need to. Ever since COVID, especially like the fandom of golf, especially in America, has become much more like our age range, and with that kind of comes the frat boy attitude. A lot of drunkenness, a lot of rowdiness. It's like I went to the Belmont Stakes last year, and I went to an all boys high school, pretty like upper class white kid high school. Everybody who I knew from high school was there. Everyone was pissed drunk and in suits. I feel like golf, it's kind of like the casual man's like nice evening kind of like event where you can get rowdy nowadays and no one's gonna really kind of give you anything. Just because like that's the mantra they built in the last 4 years. The waste management, the 16th hole has become like the breeding ground for frat parties and drunkenness. Like, and it's fun.
Yeah,
like this is what golf's becoming. I think Joe Rogan on his show recently, I saw it in a video. They showed him that video of Sam Ryder's hole in one last year, and they were like, he was like, "This is golf? Like what the hell is this?" And he was like, this is what golf should be." And I'm like, yeah, I agree, but like I do still think that there's a gentlemanly likeness that needs to be there, especially when you're playing it. I could see Rory being this kind of guy. He definitely is somebody who's like you're my friend until you do me wrong. I think for all we know, honestly, I could very well see a situation where prior to these guys defecting, Rory was like, hey, like you should stay on, or even like Tiger, like guys were like, look, like we're trying to build this thing, and why defect to this rival club that is like eons away from where we are currently, and you can have so much more success here. And probably something like that probably happened, if I had to assume. But I could so see Rory being as serious as he is. And the second you said, I'm going to go, like he was like, you're on the shit list, possibly the death list.
Yeah, like I think the perfect example is like Homa. Like Homa throws back beers all the time on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram. Like, I just don't see a world where Rory ever takes a sip of beer while he's playing a round of golf. Like, he's always trying to get better at golf. But I think Homo would get, like, black-faced drunk and play around a golf and still shoot sub 70. Like, it's just a different kind of mindset. And before we move on from Rory and the Reed, I want to talk about Homa and Collin Morikawa being early contenders for Tweet of the Year. Max Homa tweeted, "Had a nice time on the course today. 5 birdies, 1 bogey. No subpoenas. Very successful start to the week." And then Morikawa responded with, "Was so close throwing a tee at you, but you're too nice." And I just think that's so funny, and even touches more on the American mindset. Like, those guys are just normal guys that are excellent at golf and superb at golf. And it's so funny to see these guys being so successful and still being so adamant about like being funny on social media.
There was also something else. So, and we'll talk more about Max Homa and his victory and everything that went down at Torrey Pines. But now he's a new dad, and obviously the win this past weekend was his first win as a dad. His tweets ever since having a kid are just hilarious. He's like he's like, being a father is basically just become me having to open things with one hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his tweets have been awesome.
Or he tweeted out, this was at the Century, or was the Amex. He goes, congrats to John Rahm on winning. Really excited to finish top 5 this week. Really good. My son pooped, screamed, and cried. So all things normal here. Like just a guy being a dude. Also, someone who I would have never thought would actually be a father. Like Max Homa does not scream daddy like in any way whatsoever. Between him, Joel Damon, and Harry Higgs, which also, by the way, like they're all friends. Imagine like Max and his wife go out one night and they're like, oh hey, like we need a sitter. Like, oh, like Uncle Harry's coming over. Like, oh my god, it's like Uncle Buck. It's like, it's ridiculous.
That's so funny.
That would be nuts. Final thing before we move on here from Rory to kind of just cap off everything that could have went wrong with Patrick Reed. This drop shot controversy. If you didn't watch it at home, we can hopefully plug the video in on YouTube. But essentially, driver off the tee, ball was swooping right, sliced it, appeared to have gotten dislodged in a palm tree. He was looking at a different palm tree. It got caught in one. They had to zoom in on the tree, and like there's just balls everywhere in this tree. And wound up taking a controversial drop shot, trying to contest that his ball went in a different tree than actually landed in, one that was further up by like, I don't know, 10, 15 feet than the other one. Wound up getting a favorable drop, and it was like a very like controversial call. I wanted to get your take here and see was it more of a story than it had to really be? Because they were looking at it with like binoculars and trying to find this thing like it was a freaking like a rare bird that they were looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wild. Like looking into that tree, there's 7, 8, 9 balls in there, and Patrick Reed's excuse was that he marks his ball with a small little arrow, and they showed his ball on the green, and the arrow is like minute, like it's like literally like on the Pro V1 line. All he does is mark the little line. Yeah. And so there's absolutely no chance he was seeing that in the tree. And I mean, like you become the center of controversy, like coincidentally, maybe once or twice. But when it's like your 12th time on tour being stuck in controversy, like I'm just not siding with you. I'm sorry. There's just no chance I'm believing you that you actually think that. You're just, once again, trying to get a leg up, disrespecting the game. You know what happened. Brandel Chamblee posted a video. It wasn't even close to that tree. It wasn't even close.
Yeah.
And he like has this way with the rules officials that like he's just kind of does what he wants, and it's really insane. And then his wife tweets about it, and the world's back to normal.
That Chamblee video, I want to point it out. Like, really did jab at Reed too. He was like, based on the close up of the tree, you can clearly see there's like 9 or 10 Pro V1s in there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you're pulling binoculars out to try and look for this little mark, and there's like 9 of the same ball. How the hell are you going to find it in a little thing? I thought it was hilarious that finally Brandel Chamblee got his opportunity to just shit on Patrick Reed and get his thing out, all on live TV, might I add. So I thought it was absolutely perfect. Final thing here on Rory, like I had mentioned earlier, said after his win, won by 3 strokes at the Hero Dubai Challenge, at the Dubai Desert Classic, said, I still don't quite feel control of my game. Well, Rory, you're the number 1 player in the world. You just won for another week. And in your last, I believe, 9 tournaments, you have 3 wins. So I would say your game's pretty much there. What does this mean if his game isn't quite there yet? When his game is there and we're in the heart of the PGA Tour season, should we expect Rory McIlroy to have another one of those years where he contends not only for a FedEx Cup championship, but equally, a 5-win year, possibly make this the year of McIlroy versus Rahm and truly see who's the better player?
Yeah, and I think we can't overlook the fact that he had this mental roller coaster and drama outside of the round. Like he could have let that completely dissipate his round and come out and play horrible, but like it just shows that Rory can play through anything, and nothing's going to affect how he plays other than him and himself and his caddy. Like there's nothing that's going to take him away from the sport to where he's not going to give us his best every single week. And I saw a stat that Rory hasn't finished outside of the top 4 in his last 7 professional tournaments. That is absolutely insane. Yeah, as you said, he won 3 of those. It's just crazy that he's that good and Rahm is that good this year. Like I just cannot wait to see Rory and Rahm going head to head. It's going to be absolutely insane.
Rory McIlroy right now to date, I believe it's between him and Rahm are 1 and 2 in almost every strokes gained tee to green metric over their last like 2012. Like it's like actually kind of ridiculous. Again, he's probably even less than that considering he's played 2 events the whole year and he's won both of them. He won the CJ a few months back, then he won here in Dubai. He won the Tour Championship, obviously, finished 8th at the BMW, finished third at the Open. You're right. Dating all the way back, if you go back to, let's see. Oh my God. Yeah, all right. Let's date all the way back to about the Open, all right? So the JP McManus Pro-Am finished T6, went to the Open, finished 3rd, missed the cut at the FedEx, finished 8th at the BMW, won the Tour Championship, then went back over to Europe, finished T2, 4th, T4, 4th at the DP World Championship, then came back and won 2 straight. Nuts.
The guy is absolutely nuts. Question for you, Steve.
What?
You go.
Not to mention, like you said, he had a mental roller coaster during the round. He had a mental roller coaster for 3 years.
Yeah.
Like something like ever since he won probably the RBC Canadian Open, I would say, or possibly even earlier than that, because even prior to that event, he had gone 2nd, 5th, 8th, and then T18 in a month-long span, including his backdoor T2 at the Masters. He won the CJ the year prior. He had no worse finish outside of his 2 missed cuts than 33rd, which happened at the Players last year. But for 3 years, we didn't know what was wrong with Rory McIlroy. The swing was off, and yet he was still finishing consecutively top 20 on average, I would say, roughly. Like, he was still there in the thick of it, which naturally, like, what do you expect? The guy's been amazing since 2005. But, like, was kind of not himself for about 3 years, going into his 30s, and now all of a sudden he's the number one golfer in the world once again, and he's absolutely filthy. Like, this could go on forever at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, Tiger talks about it a lot. Like, these guys still have to go through swing changes and make changes, and sometimes that takes a whole year or multiple years. And I think that's what happened to Rory. He got stuck in a swing change. I mean, that's what happened to Ricky Fowler. Like, he's been stuck in this swing change. Yeah, Jordan Spieth. Like, these guys, I don't really understand why they make these changes when they're on top of the world. I guess you just got to keep evolving. But yeah, Rory, we thought he was going to lose it for a little bit there, and then he just comes back on, and he's top 2 easily in the world right now. Which brings me to the question I was going to ask you. In our Getting the Hole rankings, who are you putting number 1 right now, Jon Rahm or Rory McIlroy?
It's still Rory. There's no way you can't put Rory there. I think I made my list today. Actually, let me pull that up and kind of talk a little about that. So yeah, I have Rory 1 and Rahm 2. I think for the sole reason that Rory, of course, won and Rahm wound up going over par, and Scheffler can't go any higher because they didn't play last week anyways. So there's no reason for me to put him there. In terms of looking at like the overall standings too, like I've got Rory, Rahm, Scheffler, Cantlay, Schauffele, Finau. Colin Morikawa jumped from like 12th for me to 7th. Back-to-back incredible weeks for Colin Morikawa. Have to point that out. Fitzpatrick falls back a little bit. Homa jumps finally into the top 10. Max Homa, no golfer on the planet over the last 25 months has more wins than John Maxwell Homa.
Crazy.
Love that. Love that stat from Kyle Porter this past week. But yeah, now Rory's still number 1. Until Rahm wins, I think it's going to take possibly a win and like a Rory outside of the top 15 in whatever next tournament each of them play for me to be like, yeah, Rahm's number one again.
When do we see him again in the same field?
Probably the Waste Management, honestly, because they're not playing this week.
Yeah, because it's an elevated event, right? I think everyone's going to it.
Yeah,
it's
so
going to be crazy. That Waste Management is going to be like must-see TV. It's going to be incredible.
Honestly, like I was genuinely looking up the flight schedules to go to Phoenix. Think about it. You're going to spend 3 days in the desert. You're going to go fucking crazy on 16, and then the Super Bowl is on Sunday.
Yeah.
There are people now. I've looked into this a little bit. People have tickets to the Super Bowl and Sunday at the Waste Management. Kickoff is scheduled for 6:30, right? You can realistically, because the Waste Management plans on ending around 5:30 or 5 o'clock, you could, if you leave immediately after the final putt is hit at 5 o'clock, 5:30, make it to the Super Bowl in time for kickoff if the highway is only 45 minutes long. It's like a 50-minute drive from Scottsdale to Glendale.
It's just people are going to be absolutely demolished there. It's going to be a scene for sure.
Imagine me being pissed drunk, sitting at 16 the entire day and getting an Uber
to the Super Bowl.
First of all, the surcharge would be out of this freaking world. That would be like ludicrous, but that would just be amazing. Absolutely amazing. We're going to take a short break here. When we come back, Max Homa wins at the Farmers Insurance Open. We're going to give you some prop bets, some fun little betting tips, and of course, we're going to talk about Pebble Beach and Sam Ryder's joggers. Do we like them? Do we not? We'll figure that out all right here on the other side of the whole podcast.
Welcome back to the Get in the Hole podcast. Today's episode is sponsored by Ty's Baseball Tees. Ty's Baseball Tees is the online t-shirt shop that is all baseball. With over 30 original designs, Ty's Baseball Tees is the place for top quality baseball merch for the baseball enthusiast. Get your tees now at TyBaseballTees.com and get 10% off your purchase with discount code PITCH10. And don't forget to follow them on Instagram at Ty's Baseball Tees. This episode is also sponsored by Walk Off Wood Custom Wood Bats. Walk Off Wood is a one-stop shop for all your wood bat needs. Adult, youth, fungos, you name it, and they've got it. Jump online to Wow Bats, that's WOWBats.com, and start customizing today. Before I move into the show, I want to just flex this hoodie a little bit. Get the whole merch, Supreme box logoed. Get it on. Check it out. Check our Instagram. Check our Twitter. It's linked all there. Steve, let's talk about Pebble Beach.
Yeah, hey, look, before we jump into that, I want to shout out also our friends over at PHI Apparel Co. for the sick hoodie that Jake's rubbing. Be sure to go online, use code underground at phiapparel.co to get yourselves a hot little hoodie, and eventually that thing is hot. Give it time. It'll be there. All right, folks. So picking back up, Max Homa, of course, takes home the win at the Farmers Insurance Open. I'm trying to figure out the field currently for the Phoenix Open to double check that. Hold on. We just got it. We just got it, guys. Rory McIlroy is in the field next week with Jon Rahm. So yeah, so we are in fact going to see
everyone's
both
playing.
of them. Actually, sorry, Jon Rahm is not currently in the field yet.
Jon Rahm's not playing?
Not yet. They have until Friday to announce it. So we'll see. But as of right now, Jon Rahm will not be in the field, in which case Rory could just cement his spot even further. So Max Homa takes home the win at the Farmers Insurance, his first win as a Papa. Sam Ryder and his joggers, first of all, ugly color that he wore on Sunday. I think they're really cool. We'll talk about those in a minute. He crumbles to the tune of a 3-over on the final 4 holes to lose to Homa. And of course, Jon Rahm wound up going over on bookend days, first and final round, to crumble. I want to give a shout out to Jon Rahm and also obliterate him for a hot second. Jason Sobel tweeted it out after Wednesday's round, said, Jon Rahm played over par to get you all the better number. You're welcome. I had Jon Rahm after Wednesday tied for 118th place at plus 2,300. I said he's going to come back and win this week. Just watch. By the end of Friday, he was T2, and he blew up on the final day to finish top 7. Could have made really good money, but considering the odds going from like plus like 700 to plus 2,300, I was like, I have to just sprinkle in some sort of money on this game. But before we get into Max Homa's win, we got to talk Sam Ryder's joggers. Do we like them? Do we hate them? I really have no opinion quite yet, but I mean, I think they're pretty cool, but they cost a lot of money, so I'm not totally in on buying them quite yet.
I have a huge opinion on them. I love them. I think they are absolutely incredible, and I love John Daly, and he tweeted about how stupid they looked, so I'm actually kind of down on John Daly right now. But I did some work previously with Primo, who makes sick joggers. No free ads anymore because we're not working together anymore, so just going to bleep out who makes those pants, but they are absolutely sick. They are the best material. Like, I would call them like the Lululemon pants of golf. Like, they are definitely pricey and they're definitely expensive, but you're not paying for a crappy material or a crappy thing. Like, I think those are definitely Primo, are they not?
They're either Primo or they're Grayson, which is what what's his face? Harry Higgs and Justin Thomas wear.
Yeah, I think you got to be like a certain build to wear them.
Yeah, I definitely could not pull these things off whatsoever.
Like, I don't think Harry Higgs is the guy we need in joggers. I think Justin Thomas, all 122 pounds of him, is probably looking good in joggers. Yeah, I can't tell if those are Primo or not. I think they are. Usually you can tell by the ankle. But yeah, I think joggers are sick, and I think these guys look really cool. I don't think they look as good with the dress shoe golf shoes. Like, wear some like trainers.
Bro, this shoe looks like a tuxedo shoe.
Yeah, like JT did it once with some
it's too shiny.
With some like cool navy and white FootJoys. But like, just wear a pair of sneakers. I like, get some little turf on the bottom and just wear a pair of sneakers. Like, if you're gonna wear joggers, don't wear the dress shoe golf shoes. It looks horrible.
I agree. I think the joggers would look sick with like Tony Finau's Nikes that he wears.
Yes.
Those would be fire. Actually want to give a shout out. Speaking of footwear, while we're here, my birthday is next week. Get to share a birthday with the ending of the pro-am at Pebble. Just picked up a new pair of shoes. No free ads, but the Puma Pro Adapt Alpha Cats.
Dang.
These things are sexy.
And they're getting the whole colors.
Yeah, right, bro. The light green bottoms, actually very much like getting the whole colored, which is actually really dope. Specifically got them for that reason. Also, if you look at the design, it like has like a wave design, like green, yeah, right there that you can kind of see. So like not like a true white, like more like an off white. But absolutely beautiful kicks.
Where'd you get those from?
Spikeless. I got them at the PGA Tour Superstore. For only $110. They're online for like $180. Found them on clearance for $110. I was like, gotta get these.
That's hype. Yeah,
gotta go in that and get those.
Those are the shoes you wear the joggers with. Some spikeless, like trainer looking shoes, not these dress shoes.
While we're on the topic of gear, right? So these are spikeless that I got. Do you go spikeless or spiked? Because like I had spikes for a bit, but now I'm starting to think against them.
I'm a spikeless guy myself. I think it comes from my baseball background. Like, I was so used to wearing turfs when I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So like on days you're not active pitching, you just wear turfs, and I would warm up in turfs. I would throw in turfs.
Exactly. Yeah.
It really doesn't make a huge difference, and it's so much more comfortable on a golf course. And in reality, like, unless it's like high grass, you're in the rough and it's raining, the spikes just do nothing. I'm not gonna fall and slip my foot. The turf spikeless shoes still have enough grip to where it's not really affecting me. But yeah, so I'm a spikeless guy all day, and I think they look cooler.
Yeah, no, I used to wear. Ironically, without me actually being a lacrosse athlete, I used to wear Nike Air Hurricks, which was like the true like lacrosse shoes. But I used to wear those spikeless for gym class in high school because we used to actually play on turf, so it made sense for me to wear those. So, anyways, Max Homa, dude, cannot say any less about the skill set of what I've seen out of Max Homa. Does not win in easy fields. His 6 career wins have all come in fields where the strength of field is well over 300, well over 400. He's won twice at the Wells Fargo, won back-to-back years at the Fortnite Championship, and has now come on and won the Farmers Insurance Open in incredible fashion. I cannot say any less about how good Max Homa has been. And like I said, according to Kyle Porter, no man has more wins in the last 25 months than Max. Just a great win overall. There really isn't much more that I could say. And then the Twitter game's just gotten even better because of it.
Yeah, his Twitter game is elite. But I read an article, and Homa talks about how he gives all the credit to his newfound success to the sports psychologist he hired. And I think that's a huge move that all these guys are doing. If you look, all the top guys are big into sports psychologists. And for a guy like Homa to be bought in, I think shows that like everyone should be using them. Like Homa seems like the guy who would be so laid back, like I'm just going to kind of hit it, go out there, whatever. But for him to be that focused in and that locked in and that beneficial from a sports psychologist is the reason why he pocketed $1.5 million last week. And Will Zalatoris still doesn't know how to play.
Nor can he chip too. No. It's like it's amazing because so back prior to you, we had Ben Piro, who was a pro golfer in his own right now, is trying to go up the ranks, and he talked a lot about early on how he like got ready for golf, and he actually has a mental coach. Now, look, golf is as much mental as it is physical. Like even the casual golfer can acknowledge that one bad shot can ruin your day, but that one par on 18 brings you back. Like that's just how golf is. But the real capacity to get better and better and better, and you and I are both mid-teen handicaps to be able to kind of acknowledge this. I'm currently right now figuring out how can I get my handicap to single digits. And I talked to Ben recently, and he was like, honestly, like a half hour before you go play, he sits in the parking lot or after his during his range session and listens to like Zen music. Like literally has a curated playlist from this like psychologist, mental coach, who is like, listen to this kind of music and you're gonna be like totally fine. And like for me, it's like soft John Mayer, but like for anybody, like it could be anything. But like yeah, he does it while he's putting, and it gets him like mentally focused, and he gets ready, and it's just like kind of like what he does. And it's so true though. Like the idea to turn the page. We said it a lot in high school football. Like whenever a bad play happened, my coach would go, turn the page. It's the next chapter. It's the next drive. Don't worry about it. And once you actually take it to heart and you're like, all right, forget the mistakes that you made. Now you can kind of capitalize on them and you get better and you play better and you do win. So I think like the fact that Max Homa is so dialed in now and is able to kind of understand those things. I think also being a dad brings you some sort of like new perspective on life, I feel. And it's no longer like, yeah, he's still a clown on Twitter and he's still like fun, but at the same time though, like he has this mindset where he's playing almost for more. Because it used to be, I'm single and I'm going to go play for money and for my living. But now you're supporting a child and you're supporting a wife and you have a life now. It's like, I've got to play for more. And of course, like nothing's guaranteed in golf. I say it every single week. It took Tony Finau 6 years to get a win. Yeah. Like, so as of right now, Max Homa is just in a dial state, which is why I think he's a top 10 golfer in the world currently. And I think he'll, it's going to be even better now going throughout the this California swing, because now you've got the Waste Management, which is of course it's right up his alley. He's won already at Riviera, and then not to mention we're going to be in California for the U.S. Open. You might want to tab Max Homa as an early pick right now at pretty good odds for the U.S. Open. Where might I add, the L.A. Country Club, when he played at went to Cal Berkeley. Shot at the individual final and still holds the course record at LACC with a 61.
Crazy.
So watch out, guys, because 20-year-old Max Homa played a hell of a lot better than I could bet anybody else will when they go to LACC in June. So
and Max Homa, like I just want to touch on the point of you talking about that he's got a family now. Like that makes that sports psychologist that much more important. And now, like, when he's hitting these shots for his son, for his wife, for his family. Like, imagine the pressure that comes with that. Like, his family lives on the fact that he has to hit good golf shots.
Yeah.
And you talked about it. Like, you and I are high handicap guys. The difference between us and him is really just about like not magnifying mistakes. Like, guys like us lose shots because we hit one in the woods and then we think we can put it through the little hole in the tree instead of just punching out and taking our medicine and maybe taking par or bogey. And I just started a little series where I'm trying to cut my handicap in half. I'm trying to go from a 14 to a 7. And I got a coach. His name's Chris Shad. He's a Cobra coaching pro. He's going to be featured a little bit, kind of touching my swing up, picking my swing up. But he told me from the jump, like, I'm losing so many strokes 25 to 30 feet from the pin. Like,
Exactly.
I could hit the ball. And he said, like, I don't even care if you miss one way. If you're missing both ways, it's a problem. But if you hook the ball, like, we can play with that. We can work with that. But like, you're just losing so much short, and it's because you're trying to be a hero. Like, even on the PGA Tour, like, these guys lose when they try to be heroes, and it's just so cool to see that. Like, when we play, it's the same game they're playing. They're just playing it at an insane level.
And like, two things going off your point. One, when it comes to Max Homa, right? Like, I hate it when the PGA Tour puts out like, oh, that shot was worth $300,000. I mean, for the player, it makes sense, but like, they obviously aren't thinking about that in the moment, because they're, for the most part, they aren't even thinking about the leaderboard. But like, that's the first thing I thought of. But yeah, like, magnifying like the mistakes, right? I went down from, I was an 18 handicap as of last year. I'm down to like a 16, 15 right now. Solely because I had a 60-degree wedge in my bag, took it, snapped it in half, threw it out. I actually sold it back to the store. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to putt. Even if I'm in the rough, right, 5 feet off the green, I'm going to putt the ball. And it's paid incredible dividends because my feel and my toucher on the greens is so good that even if I'm in the rough, I can pace the ball correctly and wind up for the 2 putt within 5 feet anyways. And for me, for the most part, within 4 or 5 feet, I'm almost automatic. So it's like, it's easy for me to pick up those strokes there. But like, I can't chip, and I know I can't chip. Yeah. But I can slice my drive, and I can still play well out of the rough. It's totally fine with me. But I lose all my strokes from, you're right, within 50 feet. Because I simply cannot chip, and I skull it, and I go from 2 feet away from the green to 50 feet away, and I've got this monstrous putt where it's like, all right, put the bags in. I'm going to make double here. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Ooh, excuse me. So Farmers Insurance Open comes to a close. Of course, Homa wins. John Rahm falls. But John Rahm, we still love you deep down. We got to talk a little bit about Pebble Beach. And it all starts with one of my absolute favorite segments. Who's hot, who's not, or in this case, whomst is hot and whomst is not. Going into this week at Pebble Beach. He isn't playing, but I have to acknowledge this one player because he's just been absolutely incredible. Keegan Bradley has had a stretch where this might be outside of, I believe, his one major victory or his one win that he had at the Travelers like years ago, the best stretch of golf he's possibly ever been on. I'm pulling up his stats right now, but like, just absolutely stoic golf over the last month and a half or so. He finished second this week. Didn't do great at the Sony or the Century or even the CJ for that matter. But prior to that, throughout the fall swing, had some incredible weeks, some really low scores that I have to point out. So let me pull this up here. Finished 5th at the Sanderson Farm. He won the Zozo. 21st at the CJ, 34th at the Century. Missed cut at the Sony, and then second here. That's the first time he's had three top fives over his first 7 weeks in 3 years. So pretty damn good golf from Keegan Bradley. But going into this week at Pebble Beach, who's hot, who's not? Guys who have been playing really well going into this week particularly that you're looking out for.
Yeah, so the first guy I'm really looking out for is coming off a T18 last week. I think he was kind of living under the radar for a while. And Justin Rose. He was a really big factor in his heyday. I think he's starting to fall off a little bit. He's just getting old. Yeah. But for him to flex a T18 last week in a strong field like that, I think he's got to be someone you look out for in a field that's pretty below par.
Yeah, like between Justin Rose and this guy who I mentioned now, we talk a lot about like horses for courses, and it's the common thread every single week. The guys who just simply fit the course so well that you're like, why wouldn't I take him? I've picked this guy top 20 each of the last 3 years to finish at Pebble Beach, and he's always done it. Matt McNeely. Not a strong field in Pebble this week, and we'll talk more about the reasonings for that and the whole story about Pebble Beach. But since the opening week of the season, let's just say technically in late September, missed the cut at the Fortnite, but then went T10, 12, 18, 10, 27, 7, and 31. Now, he doesn't always play great in the California swing. Always plays really well in Hawaii when he does come to town. Plays really well in the fall swing. A course that is reliant on accuracy, incredibly small greens, particularly at Spyglass and a Pebble. Of course, the 3-course layout this week on tour. Relies incredibly on his ball striking and his accuracy game, which is paramount at these courses. He isn't the greatest putter on the planet, but Matt McNeely, it cannot be said enough. In a short field like this, where again the top 5 players, I believe there's only 3 guys. There's only 5 guys in the top 50 or 6 guys in the top 50. McNeely's one of them, and he's someone who I think is going to be a force this week. Another name that I want to point out too has not played in a few weeks, but Seamus Power going into this week, I think is going to be an absolute menace.
Yeah.
We've seen stretches for Seamus Power where he's on point and he's playing really, really well, and then he kind of just like dips into oblivion, and then always manages to come back. Over the fall swing, that was really kind of like his bread and butter, and it's been for years. So he's always played well. But T5 at the RSM, T3 at Mayakoba, he won the Butterfield in Bermuda, and again a very weak field. This is another one of those weeks where Bermuda is a lot like Pebble, oceanside course. It's going to be kind of like muggy and gross and damp to a degree, just because it's February in California, February in Bermuda. It's kind of the same kind of weather. Yeah. I think this is going to be a week for Seamus Power to really get back, and a get right week for someone who has not played in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think my other guy that we got to shout out, Harry Higgs, making the cut last week. He's hot. He's hot just for that reason. Making the cut makes Harry Higgs hot. I think he's the man. We got to get him on the show. He's our guy. And then a guy who's not hot, who isn't playing next week, but just it needs to be talked about. And I talked about it a second ago. But like, can Will Zalatoris figure out how to make a putting stroke? It's just miserable to watch. Like I love Willie Z. I love him. Trust me, I'm a Willie Z stan. But if he can't figure out how to take his putter back, like get the guy a perfect practice putting mat, let him sit there and stroke with their little mirror. Let him stroke back and forth. Like how can you not figure out how to stroke a putt, Will? I don't understand.
It's kind of disgusting when you think about it. Like I'm not one to be all in on Will Zalatoris. I never really was. And it was all because of the putter. Like I remember when he played Luke List, I believe it was actually it wasn't at Pebble. I think it was at the Farmers. This past week last year, where it was like the worst golfers in the world in a putt off. Like it was like 130th versus like 124th, like abysmal golf. And I'm watching it while I'm in Disney with my girlfriend, and I'm like, this is miserable.
Yeah, it's bad.
Watching these two, like the putter's like wiggling, but somehow he hits it right. Like, tell me where I'm screwing up, where my stroke is straight, but it somehow starts to like deviate. I don't know what it is with Will Zalatoris. I'm not all in on him. But somebody who also is just not hot whatsoever, and I think really has to show out this week. And surprisingly, he's getting older, and he isn't in his heyday anymore, obviously. But someone who used to play really well at courses like this, that this is a get good week, is Matt Kuchar. Someone who's played really well in these shorter courses, doesn't necessarily hit at a country mile, but is very accurate, has a really good putter, and it's kind of gotten better with age. Just hasn't really played very well, hasn't finished any better than 18th over the last 9 months. So I think Matt Kuchar plus 3,300 is going to be a pretty fun one this week. Getting into the actual format here at Pebble Beach. Now, 3 courses. We're going to be playing Spyglass, Pebble, and then a third course, which is kind of blanking to me right now. Very short field as of right now. Jordan Spieth, he's always here. He'll be playing with Matt Fitzpatrick, Victor Hovland, Tom Hoagie, Matt McNeely, Justin Rose, Power, Keith Mitchell, and Andrew Putnam round out your top 10 on the leaderboard this week in terms of the odds that you can get. Joel Damon also in the field. Denny McCarthy, the putting phenomena, who can't do anything else but putt. They are all in the field as well. Shows you not a very strong field, which is ironic because Pebble Beach, one of the most famous courses of all time, just simply is not there. Reason being comes down to the Pro-Am factor. And before we get into the actual discussion on the Pro-Am, I want to get your take here. The ideal foursome, you and 3 other guys, celebrities or really whoever, that you would want to golf with at Pebble for a 2-day span, who would it be?
Yeah, so I start with, I think he's a guy who is an elite golf mind, but also like would just be vibes. I really went with the good vibes thing, and that's Alfonso Ribeiro. I think he is awesome. I think he is a stellar golfer, and I think it'd be awesome to golf with him. You want me to go through all of them, or you want to go your first one?
Yeah. Give me your whole team.
Number 2 is Trent from Foreplay. I think he is just the best vibes, and I won't be the worst golfer in the group. That way, I was kind of trying to make sure I wasn't the bottom end of the totem pole. And then number 3 might be a little bit of surprise, but I think he is just really cool, and I want to have a really cool group, really good vibes. I think the stories would be great, and that's Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, McConaughey is fun.
Yeah, and he's just a good-looking guy. We got to bring up the looks with the group who I've picked so far.
Now you did definitely have a the handsome factor isn't really there except for McConaughey.
Yeah.
No offense to you, but hey, we're on a podcast for a reason. We have the quote unquote face for radio, as my old teachers used to say it. I know that I will not be good in this golf group. I acknowledge that. I'm totally fine with that. But I'm here again for the vibes. One of my favorite country artists, Jake Owen, who's a free handicapper, which is like ridiculous. He also wears the joggers and he looks freaking great. I also didn't realize he's like 6'4". Like he's a giant. I didn't realize this. I think he played with Jordan Speed last year and he towered over him. It was like ridiculous. So Jake Owen, he can provide some fun vibes. Definitely the kind of guy to like put the speaker in the golf cart and just like play his own stuff and like pop his own head to like whatever Jake Owen's got playing down to the hockey tonk going on. So Jake Owen's one. Would love to tee it up with Tom Holland. Now I have a funny story with Tom Holland. Friend of mine actually got invited to the Masters like 2 years ago. I think it was 2021. And his friend's dad is a member, which is ridiculous. He shows up at the course. They're at Breckman's, and the kid turns to his son. He goes, "Hey, our guest is coming. Can you pick him up at the gate?" He goes, "Oh, who's our guest this week?" "Oh, he's an actor. He's some British guy." He's like, "Oh, all right. Wonder who this could be." My friend pulls up to the gate with his friend to go pick up their guy. It's fucking Tom Holland. And my friend, who's a big Marvel fan, goes, "You're Tom Holland." He goes, "Yes." Apparently, Tom Holland, drunk, is one of the funnest people on the planet, which I'm not surprised at all. No. Also, a really down-to-earth guy, which makes him one of my favorite Marvel heroes already. On top of the fact that I've been a Spider-Man fan forever. But Tom Holland would be a great guy to have. Definitely would love some transfusions. Apparently smoked a lot of cigars while at the Masters, so would enjoy that a lot. McConaughey would be a fun third.
Yeah.
But I must say, as a sports fan, I want to be in awe of someone play. And it isn't a celebrity by any means, but either John Daly or like old Tiger Woods. I would want to tee it up with for fun. Assuming that I'm the celebrity here and that I get to be with a tour pro. It'd be cool to play around with like old John Daly and watch him just obliterate Diet Cokes or Tiger Woods. Just absolutely be amazing. But
yeah, I had Homa in my group for a second,
oh, that's a good one.
just because like I wanted a guy who was going to hit crazy shots but still be good vibes. So I definitely get where you're coming from.
John Daly's hilarious because my girlfriend, I'm slowly introducing her to the world of golf, and I was talking about John Daly Jr. because in my other gig writing college sports, he did a Manscaped ad with his dad, and it was like an NIL deal for him, and she was like, "Oh, who's that guy?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's John Daly." And I'm like, "Oh, well, funny thing about John Daly is that he doesn't drink water and he just obliterates Diet Cokes and smokes cigarettes." And so I showed her the interview with Tiger talking about him, and he was like, "Yeah, like showed up to the golf course for the PGA Championship, and he had 3 double cheeseburgers from McDonald's, a large thing of fries, and like 12 Diet Cokes." And my girlfriend's like, "How is he not dying of like heart disease and stuff?" And then it clipped to an interview of him. He's like, "Yeah, I don't drink water. Cigarettes is my diet." I'm like, "Oh my god,
It's wild. I don't know how he's still alive.
Apparently, when he was younger, he used to smoke like a pack and a half a day. A pack and a half. Oh my goodness, absolutely nuts. Anyways, so the reason why the field this week isn't as strong as it has been in years past, when we did watch guys like Bill Murray and Bob Hope tee it up, is because of the fact that the players are stuck playing in these celebrity pro-am events for 2 days. And the result is like 6.5-hour rounds. And if you are stuck as the last group on like a Friday and you're Jordan Spieth and you're out there till 8 o'clock at night golfing with Bill Murray, it's fun to hang out with Bill Murray doing his dumb antics. But what good is that when you're trying to win a tournament? So with that being said, should Pebble Beach remove the Pro-Am option because of the fact that their field is getting weaker and weaker and weaker by the year, despite the tour's efforts to try and get guys to play it every year?
Yeah, I think you got to get rid of it just for that reasoning. If guys don't want to play it, then it's obviously overplayed. I mean, I could take it or leave it personally. I think it's kind of cool to see these celebrities play it, but I can watch them just and play in that normal celebrity golf tournament and get my fix. But I understand why they do it for the LPGA. Like, it gets eyes on the game. It's obviously underviewed compared to the PGA. So to get celebrities out there playing with these women athletes, it makes complete sense. But it just really doesn't make sense to me for the PGA. I don't see the value in it. I don't see what other value it brings that having a great field wouldn't bring it. I think without the celebrities, you would get stellar fields because it's Pebble Beach. Like, who wouldn't want to go play at Pebble Beach, So I think that's the only thing holding it back. So, yeah, I could take it or leave it, but I think the PGA's got to dump it.
Yeah, I think Jason Sobel said it the best in his weekly wind-up when it comes to the event this week. He said, as a society, is it here? Here we go. It's difficult to maintain that the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am lost some luster since the old Clambake days, when the likes of Bing Crosby and Bob Hope would give the game a much-needed and much-anticipated celebrity turn as the game's one of the most popular players intermingled with the world's biggest stars at one of the most iconic locations on the entire planet. From then until now, something changed along the way, and we can collectively admit that this something was more us than the tournament. As a society, we become more cynical. While watching a celebrity try and hit a 6-iron was once so rare that we couldn't look away, the prospect of having to witness Ray Romano swing on our televisions is enough for most fans to race to the nearest device and thumb out their displeasure. Not that I'm arguing. I do think that CBS and Golf Channel broadcast have done a much better job in recent years, giving the people what they want. You become numb to C-list celebrities missing fairways and making dad jokes. You want to see the actual golfers they've been told, and they've mostly responded in kind. Meanwhile, the players themselves have become more discerning. There's a lot of tournaments each year. They've got to pick and choose. For as beautiful as Pebble Beach, it's usually chilly, damp, and fraught with 6-hour rounds on 3 different courses. With that also being said, he brings up a really interesting point. Now, with the idea of the like elevated events or designated events, like these big time golfers play 20 events a year, and they can pick it, and like for the most part, they're all sort of like picked for them already.
Yeah.
So why would I go bother to go play Pebble Beach when, especially now, right? I get a week off. You're Rory McIlroy, say, right? You're in Dubai. You're beating weak fields. You're going to go play the Saudi International, right? Then you got to come back and play what honestly is the best string of golf events probably on the PGA Tour over the next like month or so. The Waste Management, you're going to go to Riviera, you're going to go to the Florida Swing and play some incredibly hard courses like the Honda. Like the schedule itself just doesn't really make sense in my eyes to have guys want to play this stuff. You have it's the Waste Management, Riviera, the Honda Classic, which again, like the Honda Classic is one of the hardest like events I believe of the year too, which is something else like in and of itself. After that, like Bay Hill is coming up, right? You're gonna have as I keep on scrolling through here to try and find more. Honda Classic, Bay Hill, the Players. Next thing you know, it's the Valspar. Then it's the Match Play. Then it's the Texas Open. Then it's the Masters. And the only real weeks in between that you have that are off weeks is the event in Punta Cana, because no one's going to go from Austin to Punta Cana. Prior to Bay Hill is the Puerto Rican Open, which no one really goes to play anyways. It's more of a lower scale event. So why would I go play AT&T when I'm going to play 3 straight weeks, then go play 4 straight weeks, then have a week off, then go play back-to-back weeks the Valero and the Masters? There's no point. And then again, even following that, right? The RBC Heritage, the Zurich Classic, the Wells Fargo Championship, kind of wedged in between 2 meh events, the AT&T and the Mexico Open. Then you have the PGA. Like the scheduling doesn't necessarily like work for a lot of these guys, and there's only so many off weeks you can really get. So this is ultimately what it's become. Even if you get rid of the pro-am like aspect, I still don't think it really does anything for you. Because again, these guys aren't going to play it anyways. But that's just my take on the matter.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just totally rambled. I apologize if you had any points that could have.
No, you made them all. You made all the good points, and I think that quote about how we've seen it's just social media, and now like if I want to see a celebrity playing golf, all I got to do is search on YouTube. I'm sure I could find him swinging. But like back in the day, like the only time you saw this was when they were playing in this tournament. So
exactly.
It's just a different time.
Exactly. So if I want to go see Alfonso Ribeiro do the Carlton, I could just fucking tweet it out and I can find it immediately. Prop bet time brought to you by our friends over at Pickup. Pickup, play the headlines, get started on your phone today. I have no prop bets this week. I am hands-offish. I'm going to leave everything on the betting table in my actual picks because it's a weak field, so I can get some good money. But I want to see, do you have any good prop bets this week?
I do. I have hole-in-one no this weekend. I haven't seen the odds, but like this field just ain't it. And it's just there's just no chance with these conditions, with these courses. Like it's just not happening this week. I'm sure it's not a great payout or value money, but it's just not going to happen this week, guys.
Yeah, just no place for me in the prop market. Don't think there's anything that's really crazy worth it. I'd rather put all the money into make or miss the cut. If I really want to get absolutely crazy, let's find some random ass name Zaichang Dao to make the cut. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck that is, but we'll. I have absolutely no idea.
I love
that being said, we're gonna take one more break here and give me a second to go Google who Zaichang Dao is. All I know is that he has better odds than Chesson Hadley, who I feel so bad for. He's always on the back end of the leaderboard every week. Also, actually, same odds as Andrew Novak. So with that being said,
hey, whoa!
Give me some time to go look at who these guys are on the back end. Beer money and our wild card picks this week. We're going to lay out who we're taking this week at the Pebble Beach Pro-Am. And we are back. It is time. Beer money. Brought to you by our friends over at Kenwood Beer. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. And, look, not playing football at the link, but it's the first Super Bowl that Kenwood Beer's been alive for. So I'll tell you what, if the beer sales aren't the roof, man, you're missing out. Go online, kenwoodbeer.com, find the Kenny Tracker, find some beer. Get ready to sit back on the couch and watch the Philadelphia Eagles lose by 90 to Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. We have KB in the production suite in the background, like give me the thumbs down. We get some fucking animal over here. Meanwhile, Isaiah Pacheco's got the key to the city of Vineland. I don't know why he isn't rooting for him this week. But beer money time. top 20 pick in the worst field ever. Just found out that Zhechuan Dao is also he's one of the best amateur Chinese players out there. So if you're interested in knowing who he is, he's from the Henan province. He's only a year older than I am. And in terms of career wins, I actually don't even know if he has any, but we'll say. Actually, he has 4 amateur wins.
Wow. I'm surprised they're letting him play.
And he has 3 Korn Ferry Tour victories. He has 4 wins on the Chinese Tour. Fascinating, though, is that he's 26, so he's only a year older. He's only a year older than myself, and yet hasn't won an event outside of the Korn Ferry Tour, of course. He won all 4 of his Chinese wins in 2016, won in 2017, 19, and 22. So he's won an event when he was like 16.
That's wild. Crazy. That's actually crazy.
Nuts, right? Well, there you go. Take Zhechuan Dao this week. Top 20. Jake, what you got?
My top 20 is actually, I only have the top 30 odds. He's plus 500, top 30. But he's been looking incredibly impressive. I think it might be recency bias a little bit for me, but that's Brett Grant, top 20. And you got plus 500 odds at top 30. That's got to be super value at top 20.
I guarantee you're looking at the same article I am. You jackass. Top 20. Someone who's been playing really well in the Hawaii and LA swing, and I expect this to continue. Andrew Putnam for a top 20. He's about plus 125, I believe, for a top 20. This field is so bad that trying to find value in guys here is going to be like trying to literally find like hay in the needle stack.
Yeah.
And yes, I'm totally aware that I just completely reversed the saying, but like again, finding hay in the needle stack. There's nothing good here to work with. Top 20. Sorry, top 10.
I messed you up, I think. I made a top 30 pick on you. So I probably threw you off. My top 10 is, you talked about him. He's just a great golfer. He's been playing great. 3 top 5 results in his last 7 starts, and that's Seamus Power. Top 10.
I like Power a lot. Drafted him for weeks like this. This is the week. Top 10. I love this guy because of his visor. He also hits at 80,000 feet. Keith Mitchell for a top 10. He's plus 750 for a top 5. I'm going to get him at not even better numbers, but pretty solid number of plus 500 for a top 10 this week. Damn. Top 5. Who are you picking?
My top 5 was a winner here before. I think you got to say he's in the best form of anyone in the field because he's just played the most golf out of everyone in the field, and that's Jordan Spieth, top 5.
I'm sticking it with the good numbies. Justin Rose, top 5.
All right.
Again, look, short field experience matters. Approach game is the key. I really like JR here. Give me pick of the week. Who's the safety net?
My gimme money pick of the week is actually still great value odds at plus 275 for top 10. He was the 54-hole co-leader last year before falling into sixth place, and that's Andrew Putnam.
I know a lot.
I think he's a lock. I think he's a lock top 10 on this field.
I have 2 guys for top 20 that I think are a lock. I'm going to take the last year's runner-up, last year's winner, and I'm going to take Matt McNeely. I'm going to take Tom Hoagie and Matt McNeely, who are both listed at plus 175 for a top 20.
Parlay it.
I'm not going to, but if you want to, the odds jump to like plus 500, and it's a pretty good payday. Again, Tom Hoagie took Jordan Spieth the distance, which no one really saw it coming either. Prior to that event, everyone was like, "Who's this guy named after a sandwich?" And managed to play great. Again, Matt McNeely is like a top 20 machine when it comes to these like mid-distance courses, especially when he plays on Spyglass. He's going to play really well. So the approach game is going to be paramount there. So I like both of them as my gimme layup plays. Who's winning this week in this field?
I think this guy is just always contending, and he's just always in the mix. But for some reason, I just don't see him winning as often as he should be. But I think this is the week. I think he comes out and makes a statement, and that's Viktor Hovland. That's my winner.
Yeah, Viktor Hovland's wins this year. Well, first of all, I've noticed they only really come on course on on events whose trophies are animals.
Yeah,
I don't think Pebble Beach applies in this regard.
that's funny.
It doesn't. So I'm not going to take Hovland. There are two guys who I really like, one of whom is on my fantasy team. But for the absolute just like sake of argument that I'm just not going to take him, and I might be risking it because like this is really like the event that like fits his game perfect. I am inclined to take Power here. Oh,
Wow.
no, fuck it, I'm doing it.
I like him.
Shayna's Power is going to win this week. He held the 36-hole lead last year by 5 strokes. Just absolutely gave it up and sucked the final 2 days. I want to take Matt Fitzpatrick just because the field's so bad and he's played really well in Europe. But this is his first week back in the States. I don't really know it yet. Top 10 player in the world for me, but Shayna's Power plus 2,500, plus just way better odds than the plus 9 that I can get on Fitzpatrick. So that's it's an easy pick for me.
I also think with this field and this course and these conditions, like we saw it last week, you are just never settled in as a leader. Like you can fall apart. If you don't have your A game, you're gonna fall apart. We saw it with Rahm. Like he was money that one day, but for him to lose it on Saturday and how money he was on Friday, but to lose it on Saturday, like it's just you're never settled in on these courses when the conditions are like this.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Final thing before we go here, really short week, like we said, rough field. You and I only have 3 guys in the starting lineup, which means that we not just get 1 wild card pick, but we get 2.
Yes.
Nobody who we've taken already is going to be in the field this week, so field's wide open. Let's go you first, and I'll be nice, and then we'll go me. Should we go me back to back? Like
you got to snake it. You got to snake it.
All right, sure. All right. So we'll snake it. So you'll lead us off. Your wild card picks in fantasy. Big Steve, Team Mac, we're going to go 3-0 on the early year.
It's been absolutely miserable for Team Dip. So hopefully hopefully this field helps us out a little bit. We get something crazy. I got Joel Damon, Kevin Kisner, and Andrew Novak are my 3 starters before the wild cards this week. I think Kiz might come out hot.
I have Power, which is nice, which is big.
Yeah.
Trey Mullinax and Thomas Dietrich has been on fire the 2 weeks that he's actually played in the States. So feeling good. Like I should.
Yeah, my first pick is a no-brainer. I was hammering him all the time in those beer monies, hammering all the time in the picks. It's Andrew Putnam.
Thank God for taking Andrew Putnam. I'm taking Justin Rose. That's the easiest pick of the week for me because if I have him finishing so high, I want it. I don't know if I want to take Maverick McNeely here because I know that I can use him late in the season, but I'm already up 2 weeks to none. So I'm going to dig a little bit. I'm going to dig for a name.
Please do.
Oh, man. How did he play last week? This will be a determinant for me. He was high up on the leaderboard, right? I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, he finished T6. Oh, man. All right. He finished T6 at the American Express, and then finished. Wait. Oh, hold on. He didn't play last week. All right. You know what? Here we go. I'm gonna dig deep on this one. Give me Callum Tarran, the Britishman.
Wow.
Callum Tarran. From like way out of left field.
That's crazy. That is low.
And the only reason I'm going to take him is because Jason Sobel put him in his long odd outright winner in his post on the Action Network.
Wow.
Hasn't figured out West Coast golf, but his impressive wedge play from 100 to 125, a range which is often the play this week, is too much of a strength to overlook, especially at these odds. He's plus 13,000 to win this week, by the way.
Jeez.
So yeah, that's a Jesus Christmas number. Final pick though.
Yeah, so I'm between a couple of guys. I'm looking at Webb Simpson. I'm looking at looking at Ryan Moore. I'm looking at Ryan Moore. Like, I'm pretty down the list, and I think I gotta go higher. And I don't want to, but I just need a win. I need to win this week, so I need a guy that's going to be contending.
Don't take Fitz.
I'm going Matt Fitzpatrick.
Fuck!
I am. I gotta do it.
You always pick the good players.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna be fucked at the end of the year, though, Steve.
Oh my God.
That's the problem. But I need a win. I need a win.
Man takes Zalatoris 2 weeks ago. Takes Fowler last week. So we go Matt Fitzpatrick.
I need a win. I need a win bad. I had Max Homa last week, and I still got hammered.
Yeah, no. That. All right, you know what? That was also just simply unlucky.
Also, I think I took Zalatoris last week on my wild card, and he didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
I might just be like the bad luck. I'm literally just bad luck to the PGA Tour.
So last week, so you had JT, Spawn, Homa, Cam Davis, and your wild card was Fowler. Homa had 18 because of his score with the win. JT gave you 1 point, finishing at 1 under.
Too.
Fowler finished with 6 points and a top 20.
That's our guy, Rick.
But then Spawn and Davis both missed the cut. Taylor Montgomery and my wild card Hayden Buckley both missed the cut, but I had Rom T7, so he had 11. Yeah. Colin finished T3 with 13, and Finau was top 7 too. He had 10. So like, just unlucky stuff.
Yeah, it's been unlucky. I mean, my wild card not making the cut as a tier 1 guy is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, no, just not the vibe. But those are the picks. Any final thoughts before we get going? Long episode this week.
Yeah, I'm excited to see these celebrities tee it up because I've never seen it before on YouTube. So let's just go out and watch it, you know?
I want to see Bill Murray make another behind the back, through the legs putt because that's kind of like his thing. Also, his clothing brand is actually like really soft stuff. They just bought out a bunch at the PGA store. So check out William Murray. They're interesting golf brand.
No free ads. No free ads.
Yeah, no free ads. No, none of those. Had a lot of no free ads.
Yeah, we did. We had a lot of drop names today.
Yeah, shit. We got to, we'll clean it up. As Tony Reale says, or actually as Tony Kornheiser says, at the end of every episode of PTI, thank you for joining us, boys and girls. We'll try and do better next time. With that being said, Jake Dippold, Steve McAvoy, we'll see you next week. On the other side, the Waste Management Phoenix Open, an incredible week in Scottsdale coming up next week. God almighty, the drunkenness at 16 in the Super Bowl. Thanks for listening to Get in the Hole, the official golf podcast of Underground Sports Philadelphia. Catch us every week wherever you get your favorite podcasts, and be sure to like and subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at GetInTheHolePod, and follow Underground Sports Philadelphia at UndergroundPHI. We'll see you next time, and remember, get in the hole!